You brought up how we pay different types of people who are just in the raw sense brokers. Auto brokers, it's a salesman. When I buy a house or sell a house, that rate that my broker gets paid, my real estate agent, is negotiable. It's very transparent, right? I don't know a lot of business owners out there who know for a fact what their brokers make per month or per deal every time they sign that paper for what they term to be, again, air quotes, health benefits. And you ask those questions like you just brought up, where is the financial incentive for a broker to bring in these plans? And, we've talked about really the true definition of a client and what you guys are doing and what really makes an advisor. You're getting paid by the client rather than by whatever plans you're selling to somebody that you're, I don't know, as a customer, not even a client. Like that's always been very ambiguous, is what you call that, what a broker would call a business that they write a policy for, knowing that their salary is going to be paid by the insurance company and by the insurance plan. So it always fascinates me. And gosh, this kind of goes back to that idea that we see this on patient side. When a patient walks into a hospital, nobody thinks to ask, how much does this cost? And like you said, from the duty of a doctor to provide great care, I think having an idea of what the financials are so you can advise the patient for proper care and treatment and, not overburden them with a bankruptcy or anything like that. I think that all goes in one and the same, but I don't know why people lose their minds when it comes to healthcare, and people are almost embarrassed to ask how much it costs or how much a broker even makes.
Yeah, I have a funny personal story. I went to my old primary care physician who I've literally had since I was a child. I mean, I've known this guy for 20 years. He's a great guy. My dad knows him. I come from a small town in North Carolina, smallish town, and so I won't say his name, but he's great. He's a great guy. He always asks about me, and he spends more time with me than most do in an insurance relationship. I think we spent about 15, 20 minutes together. Anyway, I was getting my checkup done annually, I think last year. And I think I had expressed to him that I sort of was having some appetite issues, or I was feeling a little lethargic at that point. Just I had that problem for a couple of weeks, and I just didn't think it was anything serious. And he said, "Well, let's get some blood work run." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, me not knowing anything, right? I don't know anything about this recommendation or anything like that. I trust him, but I just said, what does it cost?" And he said, "Well, don't worry. Insurance usually covers it." And I said, "That's not what I asked."
Yeah.
And I didn't actually say it like that, but that's what I was thinking. I said, well, I basically kind of cobbled together some explanation about, I work in sort of in this tangential industry, and I'm just interested, and it turns out he said, I don't think it's really all that necessary. And it would have been like a couple $100. And I just said, look, that I'm on the state health plan. My parents are both teachers. They pay into this plan. I don't with your permission, I don't really think that I need this blood work done. I don't really think I'm having a huge problem. And I said, how about this? I'll call you back in a month. And if I'm still feeling this way, or maybe even sooner than a month, I'll come back and get the blood work done, and it turns out I didn't need it. It was just a little funk that I was in, and I didn't need it. And it's just when someone else is paying the bill. I'm a big incentives guy. I studied economics. That's what I got my undergraduate degree in and my master's degree in at Duke University. And that's just incentives matter. And so when there is no incentive for me to ask that question, the only reason I asked it was because of a deep curiosity that I have because of this world that I've been involved in for the past 2 or 3 years. But if I hadn't had this job, I wouldn't have asked that question. And that, to me, I think playing out over a lot of people is really part of the problem. So this direct primary care relationship that I'm about to get into, I'm really excited to get into the thick of it with a healthcare, I was going to say provider. Look at that. The language is just everywhere. Oh my goodness. My new doctor who understands where I'm coming from and is willing to work on the same side of the table with me to say, we don't take insurance. So let's figure out what's best for you. That's something I'm really looking forward to.
Right. And I had a similar story to that. I was at the optometrist and we're doing all kinds of stuff. And I said, well, I just want a cash price. I'm curious. And at that point I had, vision insurance. And they said, well, I don't understand why you're even asking that. And I was like, well, you know what? Go ahead and cancel my appointment. I'm not coming back here. You can't give me an accurate price. It doesn't matter. Like you said, it's not the damn question I asked. I don't care.
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
think, and you're going to flush down the bloated system because that's where you think the gravy train is. And I know that every DPC doctor out there listening is kind of nodding along to what you're saying. Like, no, I get it. I've been in there. I've been in those shoes before.